Darren, there's a bit of head-scratching going on about what Anne-Marie Trevelyan, the Transport Secretary, said leaving Cabinet when she was asked, does the Prime Minister have the backing of the Cabinet? She was said by Press Association to have said probably, but they're now checking on the recording to see if she actually said that, because clearly it's not actually a ringing endorsement, is it?
It's not, and Cabinet Ministers, are saying some things in public, some things in private, it must be said, about the Prime Minister's future. We can't really hang on every single word that one Cabinet Minister says, but what we can do is talk about the general vibe here at Westminster, and it's still pretty grim about the Prime Minister's future. In fact, actually, in the last couple of minutes, another blow, it must be said, for Liz Truss. A YouGov poll has just been released of Conservative Party members that elected Liz Truss only a matter of months ago, and it suggests that most of them now would like to see her resign immediately. 55% apparently, according to this poll. Only 38% want her to stay. Even among those who backed Liz Truss, who voted for her in July and August of this year, 39% of them want her to resign immediately. Who do they want to take over? Well, this is according to Conservative Party members, an opinion poll that's been released in the last couple of minutes. 55% want to back Rishi Sunak, 25%, only 1 in 4 backing the current leader, Liz Truss. I think what was interesting today at that Cabinet meeting, clearly, as you say, Jeremy Hunt will be asking those Cabinet Ministers to find those additional savings. And this is the problem also for the government going forward is, they've managed to steady the ship a little bit over the last couple of days. You've just been talking to Vicky Price there about the markets in sterling, which has steadied a bit. But frankly, if government ministers are going to have to find cuts, that's going to be very, very difficult indeed. There will be calls, of course, from the opposition that this is a return to austerity. Then there are also bigger questions about benefits, whether they should be linked to earnings or to inflation. Many within that cabinet want to see it linked to inflation, but that means higher government bills. Also, the triple lock pension, is that guaranteed? We're not sure about that. And also this big debate you've been talking about when it comes to defence spending as well. And that is all aside from the reforms the government wants to do on supply side economics, which again could prove controversial. So, there is difficulty after difficulty after difficulty ahead. And all this while the Prime Minister is under enormous pressure, both inside and outside from her party. Yes, she apologised for the first time last night. I think she has bought herself a little bit of space, but she'll be back here again tomorrow in the bear pit of politics at PMQs for yet another test. A test, as I say, not just by the opposition, but indeed by some of her own backbenchers too.
She has insisted that she will lead the Tories into the next election. What's your instinct about that claim?
She did laugh, actually, a bit like I did when that question was put to her. I think that's looking very, very unlikely. Now, you never know. Politics is an unpredictable game. We know that, don't we? That's the one thing we do know that's certain, is that you can't really kind of predict what's going to happen in politics. I think, though, the sense in the party is a question of not if, but when. I think the big question, though, is the mechanism. What way do you try potentially to get rid of Liz Truss? I think if the mechanism was straightforward and easy, she may well already have been turfed out of number 10. But for those that do want to get rid of her from inside the party, and that's a lot of MPs, I'm not going to say it's the majority at the moment, but quite a lot, is that mechanism is not terribly clear. And you have to work out kind of plan B if you want to make plan A happen. And that's what the Conservative Party, frankly, at the moment, a large swathe of them are trying to do. Though, some ministers, some MPs would talk about Alex Ferguson, that, when he first took over Manchester United, he lost the first lot of games. People thought he was going to get sacked. He went on, obviously, to be one of the most successful manager ever. Is that going to happen to Liz Truss? I'm not entirely convinced it is. But I don't think this is going to necessarily, the House of Cards is going to fall immediately. The big problem, I think, fundamentally for Liz Truss is every single event now, everything that goes wrong will be pinned on her. And that's going to be very, very difficult, because politics means that every trip up, every fall, every bad speech, every bad performance of PMQs will just weaken that authority more and more.